uṇḍoru poruḷaṛi voḷiyuḻa mēnī uڵaduṉi laladilā vatiśaya śatti niṉṛaṉirai niṉaivaṛi vōḍē nikaṛviணaic tuழல் niṉaivoḻi yāḍi kaṇḍaṉa niṛaṭcaga vicittira muḻḷuṅ kaṇmudaḥ poṛivaṛi puṛattumor sillā நின்றிடும் நிழல்வடம் nikararuṭ kuṇḍṛē நின்றிட சென்றிட niணaiviḍ.
In this series of videos, I've been discussing the 8 verses of Śrī Aruṇācala Aṣṭakam. In the last video, I discussed verse 5, and in this video, verse 6. In the final sentence of verse 5, Bhagavan said, "Unnin maru poruḻ Aruna nal oli malay uṇḍo." That means, Aruna, hill of intense light, is there anything other than you? That is a rhetorical question, obviously. The implication is that there is nothing other than Arunachala, the hill of intense light. The light he refers to there is the light of self-awareness. So there's nothing other than that light of self-awareness is the implication of that final sentence of that verse. And that is stated explicitly in the first sentence of this 6th verse. In the first sentence he says, uṇḍoru poruḷaṛi voḷiyuḻa mēnī. Uṇḍu means there is. Oru poruḻ, one substance, one reality. Ari voḷi, the light of awareness. Uḻa mē, only the heart. Ni, you. So if we arrange that in a more logical order for English, there is only one substance, you, the heart, the light of awareness. So you here means Arunachala. What is Arunachala? It's nothing but the light of awareness, the heart. The heart means the center. What we actually are is the heart. That is our real nature. So Arunachala is our real nature, the light of awareness, and that is the only real substance. So all that seems to exist is nothing other than that one substance, that one poruḻ, substance or reality, which is the light of awareness. So the awareness shining in our heart as I, that is Arunachala. That is what alone actually exists. Everything else is a mere appearance. In the previous verse, Bhagavan used the analogy of a photographic plate, saying when sunlight has fallen on a photographic film or photographic plate, can any shadow or image be imprinted on it? That is, when the mind is exposed to a light of pure self-awareness, it becomes like an exposed negative and can no longer take the impression of any objects. In other words, Bhagavan is implying here that after the ego is annihilated, after the ego is dissolved completely in the light of pure self-awareness, there's no more perception of objects. So there he used the analogy of a photographic plate. He wrote this Aruṇācala Aṣṭakam in 1912. At that time, photography had been quite well established for a long time, so his knowing about photography is not entirely surprising, but cinema, movie films were very, very rare in 1912. Probably not at all, they weren't at all available in South India. But Bhagavan had already heard of them. He may be doing science class at school, he had understood it, and he used the analogy of a cinema to explain how the world is projected in this verse 6. So Bhagavan was able to use what was then state-of-the-art, very modern technology. He was able to use that as an analogy to illustrate his teachings. In the second sentence of verse 6, he says, uḻaduṉi, uṇḍil, laladilā, vatiśaya śatti. Uḻaduṉi is the verb ul means to be. It's a tenseless verb. Uḻaduṉi can mean can have one of three meanings. Here he's using it as the third person singular form of the verb, so it means it exists basically. Uḻaduṉi is also a participial noun, so it can mean that which is or what is. It can also mean being in the sense of existing rather than in the sense of existence. But here he's using it in the sense of as a third person verb. So uḻaduṉi, uṇḍil, exists in you. Laladilā, that is not other, which is not other, meaning not other than you. Vatiśaya śatti. Vatiśaya śatti means an extraordinary power, a wonderful power. The power that what he refers to here as vatiśaya śatti is Maya. It's also the mind. In the first sentence of the fourth paragraph of Nana, Bhagavan says the mind is an vatiśaya śatti in Atmaswarupa. Atmaswarupa means our own real nature. So the mind is nothing but is a wonderful power, and from it all, he says, it causes all thoughts to appear. And he goes on in that fourth paragraph to explain that there's no world other than thoughts. In other words, he's saying that all phenomena are mental phenomena, are thoughts or mental phenomena. So even we perceive what seem to be physical phenomena, but actually what we are perceiving is only mental images. They're mental phenomena. So according to Bhagavan, there are no physical phenomena. What appear to be physical phenomena, actually just mental phenomena, actually just our own thoughts. So what he refers to here as vatiśaya śatti is the mind or Maya. And the root of the mind is ego, the perceiving element of the mind. So vatiśaya śatti here implies the ego or mind, which is Maya. So the meaning of the whole of this second sentence is, in you, that's in Arunachala, who is the light of awareness, the heart, the one real substance, in you exists an extraordinary power which is not other than you. So the mind is not, the ego is nothing other than the light of awareness, but it rises as if something other than that. And when the mind rises, everything else rises from the mind, from the ego. So that's what he says in the third sentence. He describes how everything arises from that vatiśaya śatti, which is ego, which is mind. The third sentence, it's a long sentence. Niṉṭṛu arol nirol nirai niṇaivu ari vōḍē niṛaṉirai surilil and niṇaivoḷi yāḍi kaṇḍaṉa niṛaṭcaga vicittira uḻlum kaṇmudaṭ poṛivaṛi puṛattumor or sillā niṉṭṛiḍu niṛalpaḍa what that means is the first clause is niṉṭṛaṇu niṛaṇirai ari vōḍē. That means from, implying appearing from that, along with awareness, series of subtle, shadowy thoughts. Anu means atom, or what is very, very subtle. So anu, nihil means shadow, shadowy. Niṛaṇirai is a series, and niṇaivoḻi is thought. So series of subtle, shadowy thoughts. Then he says, niṛaṇirai surilil. That means in the whirl of destiny, in the spinning of destiny. So these thoughts spinning in the whirl of destiny are seen on the mirror that is the mind light. That is niṇaivoḻi, that the niṇaivu here means mind. Niṇaivu can mean thought, it can also mean mind. So niṇaivoḻi is the mind light. Yāḍi means mirror, kaṇḍaṉa, seen. What is seen are seen on the mirror of the mind, of the mirror that is the mind light, as a shadowy world picture. That's niṛaṭcaga vicittram. Vicittram means chitram means picture. Vicittram can mean something wonderful, but here he's using vicittram in the sense of chitram. So jaga vicittram means the world picture, the picture of the world appearance, the appearance of the world, which is just like a picture. So a shadowy world picture. Uḻľuṅ means within, both within. Puṛattumor means outside, and both inside and outside. So there's an external world, there's also an internal world of all our thoughts and feelings and emotions and everything. So the external world is seen via senses such as the eye. That is kaṇmudaṭ poṛivaṛi. Vaṛi means the path, or by means of, or via senses such as the eye. And then or sillā, niṇṭṛiḍu, niṛalpaḍa, niḥa, like a shadowy picture but stands out or projected by a lens. So basically Bhagavan is saying that just like in a cinema, the picture seen on the screen is the picture seen on the screen is projected from the projector through a lens. The light from the arc lamp in the projector passes through a film and then through a lens and is projected as a picture. The film what he uses the film as an analogy for all the vasanas, all the thoughts in the mind are projected out of the world. But what he refers to as the subtle shadowy thoughts, that is the vasanas. The thoughts in seed form are like the film in a projector. When the light of awareness shines through the vasanas, it's the vasanas that are projected outside as the world. Outside means both the external physical world and the internal world of thoughts and emotions. All are just a projection of our own vasanas. So Bhagavan very aptly uses the cinema projector as an analogy to explain how the mind projects the world. Just like in a dream, as soon as we begin dreaming, we project a body which we take to be ourselves, and through the senses of that body we project an external world. All this is, we all recognize that, I mean, while dreaming, the world we see in a dream seems to be real. But when we wake up, we recognize that it was all our own mental projection. According to Bhagavan, this world we now see is no more real than the world we see in the dream. Just like the world we see in the dream is our mental projection, the world we see now is our own mental projection. All that we see outside is just a projection of our own vasanas, our own likes, dislikes, desires, hopes, fears. All these are projected outside, and how they're projected in the whirl of destiny. That is what... there are so many vasanas stored in our heart, like so many reels of film in a cinema, but it's the whirl of destiny which selects which reel is to be projected. So which film, which set of vasanas we're to project at each moment, that is determined by two things. Firstly, by our destiny, determines all that happens to us, and our vasana, our own vasanas drive our actions to respond. Our response to all that is happening to us, our efforts to experience things that we like and to avoid things that we dislike. These are all the results of our vasanas. So both our will and destiny, both are working side by side. So that's how the world is projected. And then in the final sentence, he says, Arul kuṇḍṛē. Arul means grace, kuṇḍṛē means hill. Oh, kuṇḍṛu means hill. Kuṇḍṛē, he's addressing Arunachala as hill of grace, or oh hill of grace. Niṇḍṛirai, let them cease or let them go on. Niṇaivaṛi, they do not exist at all apart from you. Often spiritual aspirants think that we have to cease seeing the world in order to see ourselves. That is true in a sense, but our aim shouldn't be just to cease seeing the world. We should be indifferent to the world. Let the world appear or let it not appear. It doesn't exist apart from you. You here means Arunachala, the light of awareness. So what we should be concerned about, what we should attend to, is not the world, or it's only ourselves. So we should be completely unconcerned by the appearance or disappearance of the world. There's only one thing that we should be concerned about. That is attending to ourself, the light of awareness, the heart, which is the sole reality, that which alone exists. Everything else is just an appearance. So we shouldn't have any concern about whether the world appears or it doesn't appear, because our sole concern should be to attend to ourselves. If we are so concerned to attend to ourselves, of course, when we're attending only to ourselves, we're not attending to the world, so the world cannot appear unless we attend to it, so the world doesn't appear. But why Bhagavan says, let it cease or let it go on, let it disappear or let it appear, is he's expressing here the attitude of indifference we should have towards the world appearance. We should not be concerned at all about it at all. Let it appear or let it not appear. It's not apart from you. I care only for you. Obviously, according to Bhagavan, the world appears only when we attend to it, only when we rise as ego. And he emphasizes that point in the first sentence of the next verse, in which he says, he begins the next verse by saying, Indraham enum niṇai, Indru aham enum niṇaivu enil, pira ondrum indru. That means if the thought called I does not exist, even one other will not exist. One other there means one other thought or one other thing. But since all things are only thoughts, since all phenomena are only thoughts, it means nothing will appear if the I thought doesn't exist. But in order to bring about the cessation of the thought called I, we need to focus our attention on ourselves so keenly that we don't see anything else. And in order to not to see anything else, in order to focus our attention on ourselves so keenly that we don't see anything else, we need to be completely indifferent to the appearance or the disappearance of the world, of all phenomena. So let thoughts, niṇḍṛirai applies to the world and also to thoughts, because according to Bhagavan, the world is nothing but thoughts, it's nothing but a projection of our vasanas. So let thoughts appear or let them not appear. They're not apart from you. We should be completely indifferent to the appearance of thought or phenomena. We should be concerned only about one thing, that is attending to ourselves. That is the important teaching Bhagavan gives us in this this final line. That is, the niṇḍṛirai means let them cease or let them go on. That is expressing the attitude of indifference we should have to the world. Bhagavan says in the 6th paragraph of Who Am I? What does it matter however many thoughts arise? Whenever any thought arises, if we investigate to whom did it appear only to me. So who am I? If we turn our attention within to investigate ourselves, that is, it doesn't matter how many thoughts arise, and whenever any thought appears, to whom does it appear? To me. And then we turn our attention with it. That doesn't mean we have to question like that, but Bhagavan is expressing, whenever any thought appears, we have to turn our attention back to ourselves. And he says there, when we turn our attention back to ourselves, that's when we investigate who am I, the mind will return to its birthplace. Its birthplace means the heart, the source from which it rose, our real nature. Mind will return to its birthplace, and the thought which had appeared will subside, will disappear. The thought which had risen will subside. So, if we are so indifferent to whether the world appears or not, because we are so interested in attending to ourselves, then by attending to ourselves, ego will subside, and therefore the world will disappear along with it. So Bhagavan isn't saying here that it doesn't matter whether the world. He's not saying that Bhagavan has taught us the world appears only when we arise as ego. But why then does he say let it appear or let it not appear? Because so long as we are concerned about it, our attention is going out away from ourselves. If we want to put an end to its appearance, the only way is to be unconcerned by its appearance, to turn our attention back to ourselves. That is what Bhagavan is teaching us here. So let it appear or let it not appear. It's not apart from you, so I attend only to you. You here means our own real nature, the light of awareness, the heart, the one real substance. So the whole verse, it's all closely, that is, all the ideas in it are closely connected. So in the final sentence, what he refers to as niṇai, you, that's an accusative case of you, is what he refers to in the first sentence as ni, the nominative case of you, which he says is the light of awareness, the heart, and the one real substance. So that is all we should be concerned about, attending only to a light of awareness shining in our heart. Let other things appear or not appear, they're no concern of ours. That should be our attitude. Only if we have such an attitude of complete indifference to the appearance or disappearance of the world, will we be able to turn our entire attention back towards ourselves and thereby subside and dissolve back into our source, after which what will remain is only what always actually exists, which is poruḷaṟi mēnī. You, the one substance, the heart, the light of awareness.